Aloha and welcome to another episode of Tiki Room Talk, a Disney podcast. My name is Angela and I'm joined by my sister Christina.
We will be your master of ceremonies on this enchanted journey into weekly top 5 topics and helpful tips when experiencing all things Disney.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, YouTube, or on Libsyn. Just search Tiki Room Talk. If you like listening to us, be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Tiki Room Talk. We'd love to hear your feedback or answer any questions you may have, so be sure to reach out to us.
This week's topic, we will be discussing the top 5 attractions that are no more at Walt Disney World.
Our siestas keep getting shorter and shorter, so let's wake up the Glee Club,
put on the show, and get Tiki talking.
Welcome back to another episode of Tiki Room Talk. This is a special episode for us today because we have our first guest. Drum roll, please. It's our dad, Steve.
Hey, I've been waiting for this.
So, Dad, we have a few questions for
He's very excited.
So, Dad, we have a few questions for you so our listeners can get a better understanding of who you are and your connection to Disney.
Ask away, Bridgekeeper. I'm not afraid.
Oh, my God.
This was such a mistake. No. Okay, so... First question for you.
Yes.
When was the first time you visited a Disney park?
I think it was 1976.
Yay.
What do you remember from that?
It was really crowded. You needed tickets to get on the rides.
Oh.
There was just one park. It was just the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I only remember a couple rides, and the only one that really sticks out in my head is Space Mountain.
Oh.
That I rode.
Oh, yeah. Space Mountain.
That's a good one.
And how many times have you been to Disney World? And a follow-up question, what other Disney resorts have you been to?
I think I'm pushing 20 times vacationing there. I've been down there a couple times on conferences where I've done
I forgot about
downtown
that.
Disney area when it was downtown Disney.
Yeah.
A few times. I've been to Disneyland in California, Aulani in Hawaii, and we did the Disney Cruise, which goes to Castaway Cay.
Yeah.
Also, the Vero Beach Resort.
And Vero Beach.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Disney's Vero Beach Resort,
Yeah, I've been there a few times too.
Yeah. What's your favorite park?
Epcot.
Why?
I think it's
the alcohol, isn't it?
Yeah. There's just a lot to do. There's the different themes of the lands. It's not really for little kids. I think they're trying to make it more for littler kids because I kind of think of it as more of the adult park to go to. Mm-hmm. But I also like the fact that it's adjacent to the boardwalk and you can kind of leave the park, go chill out over in the boardwalk, go back later on. So that's probably why I like it. Plus, there's a lot of good restaurants and some nice bars.
Some good drinks.
Good drink.
What's your favorite ride?
Oh gosh, in all the parks?
Yeah. If you had to choose.
That you've ever been on?
It's a hard question. I don't
It
even
is
know.
a hard question. It is a hard question. The one that I always want to go on whenever we go has probably got to be Test Track.
Oh, okay. Yeah, even with the refurbishments?
I like it the old way.
Yeah.
It doesn't really affect the ride, but
No.
it,
I thought
the queuing area.
for sure you were going to say it's tough to be a bug.
No, I like seeing that. I like seeing the people in the audience who are seeing that because if you ever experienced that and it's the first time you're there experiencing it, it's a lot of fun. But when you go and see it about a dozen times, it's more fun to watch the people
The little kids get
and
so
little
scared.
kids scream and get
It's
scared and the people are screaming. They don't know what to expect. Some people just are leaving. I've seen a few explode. It's just really a lot of fun to watch the reactions of people at that point. I know the show inside and out, so nothing really surprises
Nothing's
me.
surprising anymore.
No.
Last final, toughest question. What's your favorite Disney memory?
That's tough because there's a lot. Probably like the most when we went the first time when you guys were really little because it was a very magical experience for you guys then. You kind of believed in a lot of the Disney magic and things like that there. So it was kind of neat to experience all that. So the whole first trip was really fun to go. And then I like going now that you guys are a lot older and I'm older and we don't have to see all the same things over and over again because there's so many new things we can go see too. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to pin down the absolute best memory.
I think those are good answers.
I think so.
Is that good enough?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll give it a B-.
If it comes to me during this program, I'll burst it out
Really
there.
Halfway through and be like, by the way,
I remember
favorite
my
Disney
memory.
Well, there are a couple that really stand out. There was one where Ange was being really annoying, and I just was one of those, parents that just had enough because she was having a meltdown, and I was just,
This was last week.
Yeah, I just took her aside, and I'm like, look, you're ruining my vacation and my life, and
That's exactly.
And they left me and never came back.
yeah.
She's still there.
No, I'm kidding. Let me see. What's another good experience? Christina one time got this. I think it was an avocado martini.
Oh my God, no, margarita.
And in Epcot, and she wanted it so bad, and drank it, and got so sick.
I drank it way too fast.
And then we went back a few months later, and she did it again.
Yeah.
Because she didn't
3 times.
She didn't have enough punishment the first time, and she got sick again.
Every time it's been the same.
Because
outcome.
it's amazing though. If you're there, get it. I don't know why it just doesn't agree with me for some reason. I don't know if I'm drinking it too fast or if it's it's hot and I'm dehydrated and I'm drinking this and it's premium tequila. I don't know. It doesn't agree with me, but every time I want to get it, it's so good. Anyway, so we decided to have our dad be a special guest today because he's got some good insight on this topic.
And this topic is definitely an interesting one, and even a somber one, in the sense that we're discussing beloved attractions that no longer exist. And I also want to point out, Christina definitely wrote this script because I would never use the word somber.
I was reading it and I'm like, that's a good word.
I didn't come up with
it. Okay. Absolutely. So the Disney parks, they're always evolving and they're always changing to stay at the forefront of technology and entertainment.
Walt Disney himself even said, progress is impossible without change.
So over the years, we've seen some attractions, shows, even surprisingly water parks come and go.
And we're here to refresh your memories or fill you in on what many people, including ourselves, miss on our trips to Walt Disney World.
We hope that we can conjure up memories of good times, pay respects to attractions that were the forefront of Imagineering at their time, and take a look at what's replaced these beloved attractions.
We picked the top 5 attractions that are no more at Walt Disney World, plus 2 honorable mentions. So, Teen, why don't you start us off with number 5?
Okay, so number 5, extraterrestrial alien encounter.
Yeah, it was good.
So, extraterrestrial alien encounter opened in Magic Kingdom in Tomorrowland on June 20th, 1995, and it closed on October 12th, 2003.
Can you say that again?
What? Why?
You need to say extraterrestrial very strange.
No, it's an extraterrestrial. Like terror's in the title.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because it's a terrifying ride.
Oh.
And the ride revolved around a new teleportation device from an alien corporation. During the demonstration, an unknown alien is accidentally transported into your room and breaks loose. Guests are locked in their seats and are terrorized by the alien in their room.
The CEO at the time, Michael Eisner, tested the ride in January of 1995 and said it actually wasn't scary enough. So he postponed the opening after they spent 8 years developing it. And he had the Imagineers go back to the drawing board in June. Go back to the drawing board, and in June the ride opened up much more scarier than what it originally was.
I want to know what it was before.
Curious about, yeah.
This was supposed to be a showpiece of Tomorrowland's $100 million makeover. And originally, Michael Eisner wanted to use Alien, the movie Alien franchise, do a whole ride based on the Alien franchise, where you kind of like a Buzz Lightyear thing is what I interpreted from it, where you shoot down the, what are they called? Xenomorphs? Dad, do you know?
You've seen Alien, right?
I don't know anything about xenomorphs and Alien.
I feel like it's the alien is what they're talking about. Well, so you would kill him anyway. I would not be able to handle that, that's for sure. But some Imagineers thought that was just too much, because it was based on a rated R movie, and that wasn't kind of what Disney was about. So they went to George Lucas, who was working on Indiana Jones at the time, and Lucas agreed with the Imagineers that if they attached his name to the ride, he could convince Michael Eisner to make a more toned-down version of the ride without Alien.
So the warnings for this ride read as follows. The extraterrestrial alien encounter is a frightening theatrical experience in a confined setting with loud noises and moments of total darkness, and maybe too intense for children and some adults.
Dad, what do you think about that? Because you wrote it.
Yeah, it was intense. It was fun.
Okay.
Well, you like
Well, do you
aliens.
think it was? Yeah. Well, let's give a little bit of Dad's background. Dad, what kind of movies do you like?
I like really, really bad horror movies.
Yeah.
The cheesy,
terrible,
Not
comic
slashers.
TV horror
Yeah,
movies.
not slashers. I just like bad monster movies.
Yeah.
I like good ones, and I like thrillers. Like something like a good eerie movie is good too. But
But-
I like that ride. I like that attraction.
He's going to give us the best insight on it because actually Ange and I have never been on it because we were too small.
Teen, tell your story of trying to get on this ride.
The first time we went, I was 7 and I was too small to get on. And then the second time
I don't
we
think
went,
so.
No, you weren't.
No, remember they measured me. Didn't the thing go
No.
right over my head?
No, this is a ride. You don't. There's no riding in it. You sat stationary.
No, but you have to be a certain size to fit in those seats though because the
harnesses.
harnesses came down over your head.
you got on it. You got on it.
I did not. I've never been on this.
No, you
this ride.
listen to me. Give me a chance to talk here. I'm your guest, for God's sake.
I was on the People Mover with my mom. Just saying.
Okay.
You guys wouldn't know where Ange was during all this.
You kept saying to me while we're waiting in the queue line, Dad, is this going to be really scary? Is this going to be really scary? And I looked at you and said, no.
Of course you did.
You're going
didn't put me on
to
drugs when
like
I was
this.
4.
You're going to like this. You're going to like this. So we would go through the queue line, and we went through a couple. I think you walk in and you see, what was the little guy that was in the teleportation? Skippy. And you go through a little show with Skippy, and he transforms or teleports out of this pod somewhere, and we don't know where he is or something like that. So that gets done. You go into another room, and you keep telling me, Dad, am I going to be scared? Am I going to be scared? I don't know if I can do this. And I'm like, yeah, come on, you can do this. It's not a problem. You can do this. So we got all the way into where we're about to be seated, and you cheesed out on me. You made me take you out. And I was like, come on, we're right here. And I guess one of the cast members heard me trying to beg this 7-year-old to go on this ride with me. And she said, if you want, we can take her out, and you can get back in line here. So we walked you out, and I went back in.
Did you just leave me there?
No, I took you out. I didn't leave you with a total stranger cast member. I took you out.
No, but
where'd she
where
go?
did you deposit me?
At, like the scared kid depository outside the park. I don't know. I don't remember.
Did you find me and Mom?
I guess.
Or did you leave her with the cast member?
No, they wouldn't have babysat me. I don't know.
Right?
No,
Okay,
I don't know. Anyway,
That
It's different
took
from what I'm
Christina out.
you
remembering.
didn't get on
but
it. I was a little
Maybe
disappointed.
I'm thinking of Dinosaur. I wasn't tall enough to get on.
Yeah, you weren't, because I went on that by myself the first time too.
Yeah.
You didn't get on that.
And I'm sad because by the time we went back, it was gone. So we never got a chance to ride it.
Yeah, when did we say it closed?
2003.
2003.
Yeah.
I just, speaking from experience of how my dad has tortured us when we were kids, making us watch things that we were probably too young and terrified to watch.
Oh.
I should not have watched Gremlins when I was like that young. I was so scared.
Everybody's always scarred by Gremlins.
You guys don't give me the credit I
I
deserve.
saw a scene in Alien when I was a child, and it just ruined my life. So I'm glad that I never went on Alien Encounter. Also, I went on Jaws when I was a kid, and I was afraid of water for a really long time.
Oh my God.
Tremors. I was terrified to dissect a worm in 7th grade.
Oh my God.
Well, it's gross anyway. But
I don't forget it.
so the
Guys,
attraction.
I'm telling you, you guys are not giving me any credit here. They were fun. If you don't be scared. Be fine. All right, you were 7. You didn't get on. So I'm in the.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm sad I didn't get on. But
Yeah, I wish
yeah,
I
you
would've
regret it
done that.
now.
I do
it was
because
classic. Everybody who's
I've gone
on, they
back
loved
and
it. No.
watched it, and it's pretty cool.
It's kind of scary. I actually
Yeah.
just watched it, and I'm still kind of glad
You
I never
can't.
got on
You
it.
really can't watch it though because it's
No,
really
it's
all
on.
dark.
Well, it's on
Yeah.
YouTube. I mean, like
It's dark.
you're
You
not
get the full
getting the full
experience,
experience,
yeah.
but you can at least see, bits and pieces
It was
of
neat.
it.
People were screaming. It was dark,
Yeah.
and everybody was screaming, and it was funny because you heard the monster break out of the glass.
Yeah.
And it walks around, and you feel something step on your head, and it like I think it bit people's heads off, and you heard crunching and stuff.
And then isn't there a part where it, like, spews blood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get squirted.
I
with
mean,
stuff.
really intense for Disney if you think about it.
It's definitely not something you would have ever thought to find at Disney World, especially not in the Magic Kingdom. And I think, Ange, you talked about this. It probably would have been more better suited for like maybe Hollywood Studios.
Hollywood Studios, probably.
More movie, like adult, and that's where a lot of the adult older kid rides are. But like, you're in the Magic Kingdom, this like little magical place with a castle, and then you have this alien crunching on spewing blood,
bones.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was cool.
The ride was actually replaced. So after 2003, it got replaced by Stitch's Great Escape. So they kept the same arena, same seats, just changed the videos around so it would be a more tamer version. Still had an alien in it, but more beloved,
Stitch.
Like Disney.
I think he burps and you smell like corn dog, like chili corn dog, and then like.
I think that's closed now, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it actually has since closed. I want to say maybe a year, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's now it's just kind of a meet and greet area, an empty space. I'm assuming the ride's probably still there, and I think at some point they do want to replace it with something, but it wasn't getting a lot of attention, a lot of riders, so they closed that recently too. I think it was ambitious, and it's sad that these Imagineers spent so much time on it and so much effort to have it not last that long.
Yeah. But I had read that the audience that it was intended for, which was older kids and teenagers, loved it, but it was the parents and the kids that kind of felt betrayed by the ride.
Yeah, they got too many complaints from parents that kids were getting too freaked out. And
if they put that ride in Hollywood Studios today, that ride would be a hit. Because everybody wants it back. Everybody knew about it, so just put it in Hollywood Studios.
Well, they'd have to rebuild that whole arena, though. And I don't say arena like it's a football arena. It's way small.
Yeah.
But it's like you sit in a semicircle, and it's the chairs you sit in. They're like a seat, but then you have something that comes over your head, which goes around your chest and your shoulders, kind of like when you're on a roller coaster and you pull the safety bars over your head. It's similar to that, but it actually drops down from the ceiling. So they'd have to rebuild all that.
Could you imagine if they remade it now, though? I feel like the technology we have now, how much scarier it would actually be.
I miss Skippy. Skippy was cute, too. And they kept him around when they did the Stitch one.
I feel bad for Skippy. They teleport him to the other side and he, gets all, messed up. He's just like a little alien, living.
Also, Tim Curry was in it. And that's a shame because Tim Curry's awesome.
Yeah.
You gotta lose great talent like that.
Tim Curry. All right, number 4, we have River Country. River Country, great river country.
I don't know why you know the theme song.
It's from the Mouseketeers. You never saw that video?
No.
Here you have.
Okay.
I didn't know there were musical numbers on this podcast.
River Country, great river country.
River Country opened June 20th, 1976, and it closed on November 2nd, 2001. But it actually didn't really permanently close until 2005. This park has the weirdest, wackiest history.
Wait, I want to read what their slogan was. River Country is the kersplashingest, kid-laughingest, slippery slingest, raft ridingest, rope swingingest, swan divingest, summer swimmingest, sun snoozingest, picnickingest, old-fashioned, good, clean, wet American fun you've ever had.
Wow. Didn't somebody die there?
Oh, God.
No, that's not what we're starting with. Oh, my God. No one died there, no.
No one died
there. We'll get to that.
Okay.
It was on Bay Lake. It was in Fort Wilderness. It's one of only 2 parks that actually ever closed on Disney property. It was supposed to be like an old-fashioned watering hole. It had a half-acre lake that had tire swings, rope climbs. It had a slippery slide falls. It had a plunge pool. It had a kiddie area. It had a nature trail. And so it wasn't particularly large as far as water parks go, especially not the water parks we have today. But it was like a good respite from the Florida heat back in the 70s when they didn't have all the parks we have now. Wet n' Wild wasn't even around then. What was unique about this park was that it had a sandy bottom, and it also had a unique water filtering system. So it used the water from Bay Lake, but it filtered it so it didn't have all of those, lake toxins and whatnot.
Alligator feces.
Alligator things.
Ew.
No. But it dammed it off, so it looked like this actual natural looking lagoon. but it wasn't.
Yeah,
It's really cool
It
if you
looked
look
pretty
at pictures
cool.
of
Yeah,
it.
look at pictures of it, like when it was open, and then look at pictures of it now. It's so crazy.
I heard somebody died there.
We're getting to that. Okay, no one died, by the way.
I heard somebody died there.
They did not die.
They got like some kind of like E. coli or something. I don't know.
No, well, we're getting to that, and they didn't die. They did, but not there. Anyway, so the reason it closed was for a couple different reasons. And you want to outline what happened?
Oh, okay. So, the park closed because of newer water parks like Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach became more popular. But it also might have been due to less travel from the attacks of 9/11. The attraction may have also closed due to Florida passing a law which prohibited unchlorinated natural water bodies from being used for water park attractions. Which seems
Didn't they
like a
open,
legitimate, like, that seems like all of those reasons sound legitimate, but
Didn't they
that
open the
seems
other two
smart
water
that
parks?
Florida did that.
Yeah, they did.
Well, the other two water parks
Well,
are like
yeah, so
magnificent.
they
Well, that's
had
what they're
3 at the
saying.
time, and Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach were much bigger than this. This wasn't a super big water park. And then you had Wet and Wild opened afterwards. But what's really cool is it actually was the first themed water park in the country.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so...
I just think, like, I think it's smart that Florida passed the rule not to use unchlorinated water for water parks.
I mean, it was filtered.
It was filtered.
No one ever... So there was one kid that apparently got some sort of bacterial infection and died. And
See?
Well, they-
that
they
makes
telling
sense.
you the story.
They-
It was never proven that
it was never
from
proven that it
place.
came from that water park. And I mean, when you think about the hundreds of people that were in that over the years, I mean, we're talking 1976 to 2001.
Yeah.
A lot of people swam in those pools in that lake.
It was never.
It was never proven that this kid actually got sick from that water. They're actually on the property now. They're set to build a new hotel that's supposed to open in 2022. Because they left it. Like, they closed this water park
And just left it.
Left it.
Yeah.
You
That's
can-
what's interesting. It's
you can
kinda
see-
surprising.
Yeah, you can see these videos where the slides are all there, the rope swings are there, like, and there's like, stuff growing in it, and they just like left it. I don't know. I think it's fascinating that they just left it there.
So it was raised from the it wasn't actually the same level as the water from Bear
No,
Lake.
it was above, but the way that it was built, you thought you were level with the lake.
That's really
Like
interesting.
it looked
'Cause
like it was level.
I wonder
with
if
the lake.
like anything could have gotten in that water,
I
animal wise.
doubt it.
Oh, of course it did.
I don't know.
No,
We've seen
I know.
alligators like in hotels.
They knew that there were gonna be alligators there. They're in Florida. They wouldn't build something where alligators would have been able to come in.
Of course. What?
I don't. You think they would have put all that money and effort into it
They
to build
pulled
something
an alligator
that
out
could
of the Magic Kingdom before.
Yeah, but
I actually heard that they had pulled it
They
out.
had
Like it
poisonous
walked into the Magic
snakes.
Kingdom.
They have
no, but I'm not in the water.
They do. Snakes swim.
Snakes swim. Oh, that's why they're even more
They have
terrifying. They
copperheads
swim.
and
But
cottonmouths.
no, they wouldn't have built this thing if like.
Wait, cottonmouth?
Yeah.
That's not the name of a snake.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
Yeah, and they're in Florida. They're poisonous.
They're very
Oh,
poisonous.
God, I hate them. Anyway,
Anyway,
we're gonna go to number 3.
I don't know.
Does
I've
anybody
never
else-
been there. I have no comments. I've never seen it except.
Well, anyway, if you're
I've seen pictures of it, like
There's-
overgrown.
There's actually a really cool YouTube video if you get a chance to check it out called The Abandoned History of Disney's River Country / Expedition Extinct. It's like a 17-minute video. It shows you what the park used to look like and what it looks like today. It's fascinating. You check
Do they
it
have
out.
the River Country song in there?
Yes, they have the River Country song. in
See,
there.
you have heard it.
Like, I didn't think you knew it.
River Country, great River Country. That's all I know from it.
Oh my goodness.
I love the video. It's like all the Mouseketeers like partying at the River
I
Country.
swear I've never seen this video.
I've never
before.
seen this video.
I'll show you.
Okay. Okay. All right, we're moving on to number 3.
Number 3, Cirque du Soleil La Nuba. I didn't have a song for
You
extraterrestrial.
didn't put the music on the background. You have the soundtrack.
I know.
I like that show. There's a lot of Cirque du Soleil shows in Las Vegas. I was just there, and I was telling everybody was talking about the shows they had seen, and the only one I had seen was La Nuba, and nobody ever heard of it.
Oh.
Oh, it was good though. So, on December 23rd, 1998, the entertainment company Cirque du Soleil premiered a contemporary circus production, La Nuba, in this new custom-designed theater built for downtown Disney in Walt Disney World. It actually had its 15th anniversary in 2013, which had Mickey and Minnie Mouse come into the show for a little bit.
Could you imagine if they put them on like a trapeze?
I'm pretty sure that's probably not what happens. The show ran for 19 years, and it just closed in December 31st, 2017, and they are replacing it with a new, specifically made for Disney Cirque du Soleil show. The new boat was made to be in that one spot for Disney, but this new one is going to be animation themed, and it's going to feature Disney animation.
We've seen it like 3 or 4 times. The first time we saw it, we only saw half the show because
I got sick.
Somebody got sick. You got sick.
I had an ear infection.
It wasn't even like an ear infection. It was like your ear was exploding.
Yeah, that ear.
Yeah,
it didn't pop, and I had to go to an emergency room. It was the whole thing.
We had to leave halfway through the show.
Yeah. Well, poor teen.
Also, those tickets were free, so
it doesn't matter. I was a little disappointed.
Okay. Take it from the one vomiting in the bathroom. I think that you had a little bit of a better time, but
he was really a good dad. I know it doesn't sound like it.
I took you back.
Yeah, well, we did. We saw it back, I think, in 2005-ish, maybe. And then we saw it most recently in 2015.
Yeah, we took Meg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of different acts in the show. So they had breakdancing, they had an aerial bamboo, they had the Diablos, which are that classic Chinese toy. They also had cyclists, they had the aerial ballet, in silk when they do fly around in the silk.
Yeah.
They did a trapeze. They also had at the end this big power track and trampoline set where they would literally bounce off the walls of this made 3-dimensional building. It was a 7.5 minute act, and it had people doing all kinds of flips and twists.
You forgot the really Rolla-Bola.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot about that one. That was a cool one too. And then they had some acts
Are you gonna explain what it is?
That would help.
Go ahead. Explain it.
Oh, I don't know.
Is that the thing they stand in and they roll around? Like they're in those big circles, like big hula hoops?
Oh, I had a shirt.
Did you have a shirt with that?
Remember I had the blue shirt?
Yeah.
And they're like these people that are in these rings, and they're like...
Yeah, they're like big hula hoops. And
Yeah, but they're like holding on to them like with their hands and their feet. I wish you could see right now. I'm trying to act it out. And then they roll.
The best part of that show was the music.
Yeah. The music was very good.
The music was very good.
Should I sing it again?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's not how it went,
but the music played well with what they were doing on stage.
Yeah.
So it was very much in sync, and the music was really good. It was a really good show. It's a shame it's not there. I hope they replace it with something that's just as good.
I think they will.
For me, I think I'm just sad that it's gonna be Disney themed. I know that sounds really weird, but it was kind of cool that you had this thing down there that was Disney created but wasn't like associated with Disney. Like, it's gonna be like Disney music now, and trust me, no one loves Disney music more than me, but
a little too much
Disney. I just think you don't get that like escape from, like, you're on Disney property, but now you can never escape the Disney, you know?
I don't know, maybe they'll do like a different spin on it, because I feel like it is like kind of big with their music. Like, I'd be curious to see how they do the Beatles one, like if it's exactly the Beatles music, the one that's in Vegas, I think. Love? Isn't that
Love.
Yeah. Well, this one, and I don't know if it's all Cirque du Soleil shows, this one was only in French. All the music was in French. All the singing was in French. All the speaking was in French. Not that the, like, clowns or the trapeze artists really, like, talked a lot, but when they did, it was in French. And so I don't know if with this new one, they're still gonna do that. Because Cirque du Soleil is a French concept, a French company.
Wasn't the story, this is, like, all I remember. Like, the story was about, like, a cleaning lady that goes into a crazy house.
That was it was supposed to blur dreams.
But wasn't she like a
reality?
Lady?
There was a cleaning lady, and she kind of ends up being like the princess at the end, like in a way. And
I remember.
But it was about blurring dream with reality. You were supposed to not know what was actually happening and what was in like a dream, like.
I didn't get that.
I wish we were as smart as
well, I didn't get that. But it was nice to see.
And didn't they have a live band and that singer?
Yeah, all the music
asked
was
me
live.
to be a singer once, but I turned it down.
Yeah, it's true.
It's going to be Disney-esque now.
Yeah, so now it's
so.
supposed to be, and it's actually, they just released an opening date for it. It's going to open in March.
Spring 2020.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, the story's going to be, like, it's going to follow a young girl who was, like, raised by animators.
Like her grandparents are animators.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it-
really?
I saw the video. No, it looks pretty.
It could be
I
worse
saw,
than the
like,
cheesy
a promo.
Polynesian
Yeah.
Hulu show.
It's not gonna be like that. No, they're sinking a lot of money into this and stuff. I don't know if it's gonna be the same performers, if they'll have the same acts, or what.
I want to know if those performers were always like if I mean, obviously they like could have left, but I feel like that guy that was like the strongman kind of guy was always the same guy, unless they just got someone that looked just like him.
I don't know if when you're a Cirque du Soleil performer, if you perform in more than one show, like
do
if
you think
move
they go
on
to like
the
different shows?
traveling companies, or maybe you go out to Vegas.
You know, you mentioned that it's going to add Disney, like it's going to be like Disney-esque.
Yeah.
And it's in Disney Springs, but there's really nothing else down in Disney Springs besides the big Disney store that is kind of like Disney-esque. Everything else really is not really like.
Well, they have that virtual reality place, but I
You know those
mean,
bars. I mean, you can always escape and go drink.
Well, I just think like, say you were
That's
like a
Dad's
Florida
solution.
resident.
That's to me the answer to
But,
Disney.
like,
Anything that's Disney-esque.
If you were like
just go down there and drink.
a Florida resident and you're like, you want to maybe like a date night and you're like, let's go get dinner, let's go see the Cirque du Soleil show. Like, did you want it to be Disney themed?
But well,
Like,
I think you expect it.
Yeah.
If you're there, you expect it.
and like if you're spending like a week on Disney property, wouldn't it have been cool to have like just that little teeny respite of like not Disney for like
you have such a wide vocabulary.
do not, but
Yeah. Move on.
I don't know. Anyway, thanks, Dad.
I have one word and it's myriad.
You've yet to use it. Okay. All right. There's a myriad of adventures
I
here.
know. I throw it in sometimes.
So we're moving on to number 2.
Dad, what's number 2? Can you see the screen?
I can't. Do you want me to guess?
No.
Oh,
Well,
right.
if you did your research like you're supposed to.
Oh, I like this one. Well, it's not there anymore.
That's the whole point of the show.
Oh my god!
You want me to say it?
He didn't do his research like he was supposed to.
We told him weeks ago. We even have notes.
I didn't need a script. You guys are asking me questions. I'm just giving you my
No,
opinion.
that wasn't the point. Okay, never mind.
Alright, number 2 is Maelstrom.
It's Maelstrom, everybody.
Okay, it's not there anymore.
Okay, we're not.
Okay, Maelstrom was in Epcot in Norway.
Yeah, that's a shame that's gone. Let me speak.
Okay.
I was gonna give him a little bit of a little
Tell him what it is.
backstory. Tell him what it is first before you give me your opinions, please.
Hold your words.
No, I'm good. Okay.
Now,
So-
what happened was that ride was good, and I remember the first time I went on it, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little like short, but it was like really very much of the land, which was Norway.
Yeah.
Why
Why don't you explain what the ride was? Try and give an explanation.
It was like a flume ride.
Oh, God.
So,
But not though,
You sat in,
because
like,
you didn't
this-
get wet. You wouldn't.
well, you got a little wet. You got
No,
damp.
we didn't.
You got splashed.
You got spritz.
You got
I wouldn't even
spritz.
say damn.
But you're in like a Viking ship, and they talk about the Vikings, and you go into like troll land.
It was
and
about
there's-
Norwegian history and
Yeah.
folklore and
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
and about the land, but it also
Exactly, I
had
was gonna say
present
that
day
too.
things too. Like it showed you the oil rigs.
I thought I was always kind of scared.
The oil
God,
rigs.
I'm a wimp.
Why are you talking to
Why are
me?
you scared of an oil rig?
All right, I'm gonna
It
give
was
you a
really
little.
dark and there was lightning.
It had remember the troll? It had a big
Yeah,
troll
because it was about folklore
over
and it
the
was
falls.
it was
Yeah,
over the
about
falls.
it was supposed to be like a little quick like 5-minute kind of this is what Norway is, this is what Norway is about from past to present.
Are we losing you? Like, we're not
No,
even that far into it.
I liked the
I was
ride.
like 30
I liked the ride. I thought it was done really well. And
Yeah.
you're in this like Viking ship. It's a very lame flume ride. It was. And then you go up
But
a
it
hill and
wasn't-
downhill. You go backwards.
It wasn't meant to be like splash
Thrilling.
It wasn't a
It was
thrill
never
ride.
meant to
I know,
be
it wasn't meant
like
to be a thrill
log
ride, but it
flume.
was really at one time like one of the few rides in Epcot. Like
Yeah.
there weren't a lot of rides in Epcot.
Right.
So you went over to Norway and you went on this ride. It never had a huge line.
Yeah.
You could get on it pretty easily.
Yeah.
But it was a cool ride. I mean, it was something you can go and chill out with and sit back, get a little excited because you go down this little waterfall and you go backwards and had good animatronics in it. But it let you off. At the end, you went through a little Norwegian seaport.
Yeah, I
And
like
you
that.
got off, and then you sat in a theater and watched a movie about Norway, which most people didn't watch.
Yeah.
You could like walk through and bypass it if you wanted
Which
to.
we did.
But we also watched it though.
Yeah, once.
It was very interesting. I mean, when you're like 9, yeah, no, it's not because it's about Norwegian exports and their economy and stuff. But
they took it away. It's not there, and they turned it into the Frozen ride.
Right. So in 2013, with the maximum success of Frozen, they took Maelstrom and they turned it into Frozen Ever After. All right. So
do we need to give like a better description of what that ride was?
Of Maelstrom?
Yeah.
I hope you guys understand. Go on YouTube it.
Yeah, YouTube it.
It was a good ride. I don't like the Frozen ride.
Okay, well we're getting into that now.
Getting into that.
I'm going to tell you, I just don't like the Frozen ride.
He misses Maelstrom.
I do because it was
now,
about the land.
Here's the question: would you like the Frozen ride if it wasn't where Maelstrom was? Because that's what
I think so.
Yeah, I would.
Like I think
it takes away from the land. The land, it was cool because it was like. It was adding these Disney characters, these fictional Disney characters, which are cool. Like the whole like concept of Disney's based around that. I get it. That's but it was this original kind of like life thing in Norway, and now they put these Disney characters in there. And I don't know.
So that's my biggest beef with it, and we don't like to get all negative on this podcast, but Epcot was originally designed to separate Disney from the cultures of the countries that you were traveling around. So back when it first opened, there weren't even like characters in them. It was just about learning about those cultures, like visiting these countries, learning about them, tasting things from them, and almost like having like a mini trip to this country, being immersed in it. And so when you had Maelstrom, that's what it was. And then they took that and they were like, wow, we have this massive successful Disney movie, which never necessarily took place in Norway. Like it's a fake country, Arendelle. And I've got nothing against Frozen. I like Frozen. It's a great sister movie. I got one of those, so it's good. And
it's all right.
It's a good movie.
So wrong.
But
it was a good movie.
It was all
I just
right.
think when you added those characters to it, you took away what Epcot was supposed to be. And now with the success of it, they're doing that all over. Like you've got the Ratatouille ride going to France. They're building a Mary Poppins attraction in England. You're just now that blend of separating Disney from cultures is no more.
Yeah, bringing all the kids into that part.
And Frozen never said it took place in Norway. It was just supposed to be a Scandinavian territory.
Right.
So to me it was weird that they were like, oh, guess what? It's Norway now. You know, like I don't know. I think I don't hate the Frozen attraction. I think it would be better suited for Magic Kingdom. Even like Hollywood Studios.
I agree with you. I think it would have probably done better if it was. Well, I mean, it does great where it is.
The lines are always.
I think
crazy.
I would have liked it better. Yeah, in a different park.
And the animatronics are really nice. It's a good attraction. They put a lot of time, a lot of money, effort into it. It's if you have little kids, it's really cute and everything.
To me, they killed a modern classic, like when they took away Mr. Toad in the Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, but Winnie the Pooh is a good ride.
Yeah, they took away, or Snow White, they took that away.
But then they made Mine Train. I mean, sometimes you gotta lose some to gain some. But with this one, I feel like they lost, because the thing is, the whole Norway Pavilion now is just Frozen Explosion.
Yeah.
The bakery has frozen cupcakes. There's a frozen meet and greet. Even they had a museum there that was supposed to be about Vikings. Well, not supposed to be. It used to be about Vikings. And now it's like all about the animation of Frozen.
I think that the Epcot's just kind of changing.
It's
just changing, and you just gotta embrace it. But I can only take so much change. If they decide to change the Grand Fiesta Tour and make it Coco, and Coco is debatably my favorite Pixar movie, but if they take the Three Caballeros out, Andrew's gonna have some problems.
Is that a rumor?
No, but
I mean,
in the direction it's going, it's very possible.
Happen.
I mean, they're putting Moana in Future World.
What?
Yeah, they're building this water thing with Moana,
they're putting it in Future World. I didn't know.
Yeah,
I knew they were doing it. I just didn't know it was there.
There was just never supposed to be that. This is all Disney in this park. It was supposed to be like this whole other. This is about learning. This is about culture, and now you're like, hey, Disney movies. I don't know.
They're definitely changing the direction of Epcot.
And
I think they're making it more kid friendly
with getting rid of Maelstrom and putting Frozen Ever After in.
Yeah, I like Maelstrom.
Historic. We all enjoyed Maelstrom.
We all enjoyed Maelstrom. It's a sad loss.
Key takeaway is We miss Maelstrom.
We miss Maelstrom.
Yep.
And you'll probably YouTube it and be like, this is pretty lame. I don't know what they're talking about.
It was lame. It was nothing exciting, but it was just, it was different.
Yeah.
And it was like of the land. And at the time, there really wasn't a lot in Epcot. You had this ride over there.
Then
you had this other water ride in Mexico that was not
Which
as
are
exciting.
the only 2 attractions in the
I love that
countries.
I like it too. I'm not putting
such
it
a
down.
loser.
I'm not saying it's not a good ride, but I don't know. It just maybe because I didn't like the movie Frozen, and I'm probably the
I
only
think you're a
person
little salty about it, yeah.
that didn't like the movie Frozen.
You really are.
So why make it a ride?
Considering how much money it made and how many people
Yeah, but I
that movie.
I don't know. I drop a lot of money in Disney. They should have asked me first.
Yeah, I don't
Oh
think.
my god.
No.
I should have been consulted. Okay, number 1.
Oh, can I guess what it is?
Yeah.
What's
You wouldn't
that?
have to guess
Turn
if
your
you.
head to the microphone.
I'm sorry. All right,
you read
I didn't read any of the notes. I told you I'm doing this on my own. I don't know. It's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about? Things that aren't there, right? Okay,
Oh,
so
God.
wait, give me a hint.
It's a ride.
It's attraction.
Oh, is it the one where you just go under the water?
The backlot tour?
No, the Nemo. Well, it's Nemo in
No,
California.
20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
No.
No.
Oh, because I was on that, and it's not there anymore.
It is not there anymore, no.
I was
They
on.
got rid of that.
was on that ride.
I was on that in Florida.
Yeah.
That's not there anymore.
That's been gone for a long time.
I know. I don't know what is it.
It's the great movie ride, Dad.
Oh yeah, I like that one too. What happened there? Although I heard what they're putting in there is going to be pretty cool. But I did like that ride.
Yeah.
But they needed to change it
I
up
knew
a
he
little
was gonna
bit.
say this.
It could have stand for some updates. Well, let's explain
All
what
right.
the great movie ride was.
Yeah, I like. Let me tell you about it.
No. We're not. I have notes. You're not telling it. I'm telling you.
It was about riding through the movies and the progress movies. Like they start like the early history of movies. They went through the old talkies, some of the black and whites into the classic color ones. You're going with the Winds, Ben-Hur, things like that there. And then you got on this like tram, but had about probably 150 people on it, and it was on a track, and there was a driver, and you drove through movie sets. And they had Alien, they had John Wayne, they had The Wizard of Oz, and then you got to this one part where they, you guys want to step in here? You guys,
You wanted to do this, Dad?
You get
Okay.
to this one part where your conductor, I guess, you're like
the guy's leading you.
the guy
Yeah.
who's
The
taking
guy in
you through all
charge.
the movies.
Yeah.
Becomes part
He's
of
like the guide.
movie.
He's the
Yeah.
movie guide. He's the
Or
movie guide.
they were women too.
The
Sometimes.
same guide.
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 Not
I think you were saying
guy.
guy.
No, guide.
Anyway,
Anyway, so
Anyway, the guide gets kidnapped in like a gangster scene.
yes,
And then reappears in the Indiana Jones scene.
thank you.
yes, and takes you to the end of the ride.
It
which
takes
is
you
the
to the end
movie.
of the ride.
It was about, like you said, it was about you being part of these classic movies and
Yeah.
just being part of movies in general because they hit every genre. They had horror, they had western, they had gangster.
Do you remember the Alien? It never worked.
It was always scary.
yeah.
Another traumatizing thing for Ange.
There's a
And the Sigourney Weaver never looked like Sigourney Weaver.
the Sigourney Weaver
The
was
Sigourney Weaver was a
questionable,
little
but all the
Yeah.
other animatronics weren't.
They did
were terrible.
okay. They did the Wizard of Oz.
The movies that were in it
Mm-hmm.
were Mary Poppins, Footlight Parade, Singing in the Rain, The Public Enemy, Alien, Fantasia, The Wizard of Oz, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, which I don't know why they picked that Indiana Jones.
You
but
missed one.
I'm not done. The Mummy, A Fistful of Dollars, The Researchers, Casablanca, and Tarzan the Ape Man.
And originally, this ride was actually supposed to be a pavilion in the Future World section of Epcot.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool. So when Michael Eisner was in charge once again, him and famous Imagineer Marty Sklar, they wanted to do this pavilion, but they thought, oh, you know what? With Universal was kind of getting ready to open at the time,
Yeah.
and they're like, you know what? Like, let's make this a theme park. So they actually went and
theme
turned
ride.
this concept, well, the concept of movies into this theme park is where you got MGM.
Yeah.
So they took movies from their library, but then took movies from outside of their library. A lot of them that were MGM movies because they had a license with MGM at the time.
And the park was called MGM.
And it was called
Studios.
Disney MGM Studios. And they made this attraction. It closed in August 13th, 2017. And it actually was the last operating attraction from the original Disney MGM Studios to close. There's nothing there now that was there when it originally opened.
It makes me really sad that this ride's gone. Because I enjoyed it, and going through school, like college, and being like a film major and watching all these films like later. Like I had to watch The Public Enemy for school, Singing in the Rain, all of these movies, and now they're not like, I don't know. I just feel like that park is like kind of lost its way.
It's kind of a shell of what it used to be.
Yeah.
Remember it had two different sides?
Yeah, one side was a Western side, and one side was a gangster side.
Yeah.
And depending on how you went through it was how your guide would interact with the sets around you and stuff, too. And then at the end, they would do this big montage of, like, movie history, different genres. It was, like, really well put together and everything.
But they needed to update it.
I agree.
It got boring.
I agree. I think it could stand for some movie updates.
I mean, I wouldn't say a lot of them. Actually, probably all of them minus Wizard of Oz. Kids today wouldn't know.
No. No, they probably wouldn't.
Maybe Fantasia or Mary Poppins.
They would know Alien. That's still pretty
well,
popular.
they wouldn't know Footlight Parade or Casablanca, which is a shame because they should.
Casablanca's a classic, though. I mean, they're all classics. They're replacing that ride now with it's called Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, which I love the new Mickey cartoon, so I'm excited for what this is going to be.
Them too. I think they're funny.
But I do have a problem. Like, I think if they're going to do that, they should change the facade of the building. Because
I was going to say the same exact thing.
Oh, really? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I have it down in my notes, actually.
They should change the building.
It's in the Groman Chinese Theater. They built a replica of the Groman Chinese Theater with the handprints and all out front.
We were there.
That's in Hollywood. We've been to the original one. It's just weird to me that they're putting this Mickey and Minnie ride inside a Groman Chinese Theater.
Maybe
especially about a runaway train. I don't know.
Well, maybe it's a train that goes to Hollywood.
Well, I've seen some of the they finally released some concept art and some details about it. It looks like it's going to be really cool.
Oh, now, it's going to be awesome.
They're building it over in California, too, but they're putting it in Mickey's Toontown, which makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
But
well, Florida doesn't have Mickey's Toontown anymore.
Right.
Yeah, that's one.
I think it'll be cool. It'll be definitely a cool addition to the park, but I think that, they should probably change the facade.
Well, and especially because it's a park about movie studios, Hollywood studios.
It's like not
and there's
anymore,
no
though.
movie anymore.
Yeah, it's really not.
They have the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror still.
Yeah, but all the stuff that it was originally when they built it, it was a working movie studio.
I do remember.
And you've got none of that anymore. You don't have Backlot Tour. You don't have...
You have that one street that looks like a movie.
And you have the sound stages.
It is, but
no, they got rid of all those sound
street.
stages.
I think the street that you go down...
They got rid of all that when they built Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
No, I'm talking about the street you go down when you go to the Tower of Terror and the Rock and Roller Coaster.
Yeah, they still have Sunset Boulevard, and it's lined with shops and eateries and whatnot, but...
They really should just make that park like a instead of like a Hollywood theme, just like a movie theme park.
Yeah.
Because really, when you think about it, like if
it's missing an identity.
It is, and I feel like they're coming to find it, but they're gonna need to rebrand it.
Well, they did rebrand it recently. They have a whole new logo.
I know, but they're gonna need to rebrand it again.
I still call it.
Anyway,
I know.
If you get a chance to watch the Great Movie Ride on YouTube, it's long. I might have been like a 17-minute attraction or something like that. It's a fun one to watch. It's all the classic movies, I always like the Singing in the Rain.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. And actually, I just heard a recent cool fact. So the Ark of the Covenant that they had in the Indiana Jones section, they cut it in half. And now there's a half in each of the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge.
Oh.
On both coasts, yeah.
That's
It's in one of the gift shops.
Oh.
Why? Why'd they do that?
I guess because it was gold. I don't know. I guess it fits in. But it's the arc that they had from that ride.
I am excited for the Mickey ride. I feel like they might throw in like a little Easter egg, like a little nod to the Great Movie Ride in it. I hope. I think that would be fun.
Well, I've heard that when the one they're building in California in Toontown, they're replacing the Roger Rabbit ride with it. Which I'm sad because I love Roger Rabbit. But I heard that there are going to be nods to Roger Rabbit in it.
Yeah. We are going to our honorable mentions. Number 1 is Wishes.
Not singing this episode.
All my wishes.
So Wishes used to be the fireworks show at the Magic Kingdom. It started on October 9th, 2003, and it was replaced by Happily Ever After on May 12th, 2017.
You didn't say when it ended. It ended on May 11th.
I'm sorry. It ended on May 11th. Well, it was replaced the next day.
Whoa. We didn't know that.
It used to be voiced by Jiminy Cricket. It had the Blue Fairy in it. It was about a story where you had all these like pyrotechnics exploding around Cinderella Castle. And
it's very different than today.
The fireworks would
Which-
go in time to the music, and you had Tinkerbell fly down from the castle.
Now it's just pyrotechnics, music, and a story around fireworks.
What's a pyrotronic?
Pyrotronic?
You mean pyrotechnics?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Pyrotronics is fire. No, forget.
No, it's not.
It's a fire alarm panel.
Oh my god.
You would know that.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to make a point.
It's a different show now.
It's the same show.
It's a projection
they name
show
it different.
now.
The
No,
only
it's
thing
not.
different
No,
now,
it's
the only
not.
thing different now is they do the castle show with it.
No, it's a different theme. It's a
completely
different
I don't
music.
know. I'm sorry. It's a fireworks show. I mean, seriously.
There's so much more. They have the castle show going
They put
on.
these themes behind these fireworks, and that, like, here's your wishes. They're going to come true. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
They do it for 10 years, and then they redo it, new fireworks, and say here's the theme. It's here's some wishes. They're all going to come true.
I want Mom to be talking about
Yeah,
this.
Mom.
Mom, come talk about this.
We're switching them out. Switch.
Yeah, we're bringing our mom in for the
No,
honorable mention.
To me, it's like the same thing, but different music. But I know, what can you do with fireworks?
Well, it's central. Happily Ever After. It's central around Happily Ever Afters, and it goes through love. It goes through fighting. There's it.
Mom, what do you think about Wishes? Dad didn't like it.
I didn't say I
You
didn't
said
like
it was a cheesy
It
fireworks
was a
show.
cheesy fireworks show. It was just a fireworks show. I'm not saying I didn't like it.
I liked Wishes. I liked what it did.
What did it do? What did it do?
What it went through?
It went through
Wishes.
It did. It went through Wishes. It was really good.
So what does the new one do?
It's about Happily Ever Afters, and it's different.
And they
in
have the projection
form
with it.
that it's a
the
projection
projection's the
show
only
now.
thing that's different about
No,
it.
there's different
there
music.
isn't.
I understand that, but to me, it's just,
No.
I get the same thing out of it, though. I'm sitting there watching a fireworks show, except now I can watch Projection on Castle. That's cool. But now...
We miss Wishes. Maybe Dad doesn't
All
because
right,
he
I'm
didn't
not
do any
saying
of his
anything.
notes.
What's the other one you want to talk about?
Our next honorable mention is Illuminations Reflections of
Oh,
Earth.
God.
Because it's not there anymore.
That's what the theme of
the
this
theme
show
of
was,
this
Dad.
show
That's
was
another
attractions that are
firework.
not
Okay,
there.
all right.
So Illuminations, I thought was really, really good. Saw it many times. So after seeing it like 5 or 6 times,
It's not like 18 times.
after seeing it 5 or 6 times, it becomes enough. We did see one of the last projections of it.
Yeah.
I shed a tear. I liked it a lot.
It was a
and
fireworks
nostalgic.
show.
Can you shut up?
You shed a tear. I'm making fun of you then, because everybody else that was around me shedding a tear.
Shut up.
Okay, it had its place in
It
Disney
did.
history.
Yeah,
It
absolutely.
ran from 1999 to 2019. That's a long
It's 20 years. I
show.
mean, the reason I say I shed a tear is because
You
it
were
was...
cold.
It wasn't cold.
It wasn't cold.
It was September.
It was because it was the end of an era of a show that really was about the world beginning. It had different lands, nature. It was beautiful, and I liked it a lot.
Chaos, order, and
So-
meaning. Those were the
Yeah.
three movements.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, and I loved it. So it was sad, but again, after seeing it so many times in 20 years, by the end, I didn't need to see it anymore. I only ended up wanting to see it the last show because I knew I wouldn't see it
It was
again.
basically, we can skip that.
Well,
Oh
when
my
it was
God.
made at the time, way back in 1999, it was huge. I mean,
Oh,
they
it was.
spent so much money making that show. It had fireworks, it had pyrotechnics, it had
Yeah.
water fountains, it had
Yeah.
lasers, there
Yeah.
were fire
Had a
effects.
globe.
It had that big
Globe.
set piece globe that would circle and then it would open and fire. And at the time, it was the
epic.
show. It was the show to see.
It wasn't. It was
And-
state of the art.
In 2019, it's a little old. It's been outdone,
It's
you know.
stale.
It's a fireworks show at the end of
But
the
I
day.
liked it.
No,
But the
no,
theme
it
of
wasn't.
it
It had a
see,
theme.
and this is the thing. We were talking about this with Frozen. The theme went with Epcot. It was about Earth. It was about the people that inhabit it. It was about Earth.
Right.
And now they're replacing it with Harmonious, which is going to be Disney music.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Which to me is not Epcot.
Right.
Like
I like when they would blow out the lanterns.
Yes.
at the beginning.
Reflections of Earth.
If you get a chance to watch on YouTube, it was a very good show.
It was good. The first couple times I saw it, very cool. The globe was cool. It would open up and things would spew out of it like fire and fireworks and stuff. But it got old. It needed to be replaced.
It was 10 years old.
And then again, it just becomes a fireworks
20
show.
years old.
It was 20.
Oh my
It
goodness.
just becomes a fireworks show.
Well,
At the
the
end.
thing-
the
what I-
castle shows are much worse.
The thing.
We're not talking about.
I'm going to speak again. The thing I liked about it also was it lit up every nation. It was music that brought everything together.
Right.
It was.
on.
Yes, I loved it.
It was a celebration of Earth.
I did.
And I liked it better than the castle show.
Oh my
fireworks show.
God.
But
I mean,
no,
as far as
okay,
a fireworks show,
the-
if you had to look at a
all right.
fireworks show, if you had to say, I'm going to stay and see one fireworks show,
Yeah.
would you have seen Wishes or
I-
would you have seen
I think it
Illuminations?
depends. I think it depends on
I
if you had
agree.
little kids with you. I
Yeah.
think it depends on if you know, what park you were
What
at
if,
that
it
day.
was,
Like,
what if it was you? That was a good question by Dad.
if we're talking Wishes versus Illuminations,
Yeah.
I think I would have saw Illuminations.
Wow.
I would have seen
I
Illuminations
think
too.
I would have seen Wishes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
very
I think it
disappointing.
depends what you're looking for. Wishes was Disney music. It was Happy Ever Afters. It was like beautiful. You know, you had the genie from Aladdin. You had Jiminy Cricket. It was all your characters that you know and love. And Illuminations was none of that. It was just a celebration of Earth. It had an original soundtrack. It
went with the
depends.
theme. It went with the theme of Epcot.
Right, and so this
I think.
harmonious that they're replacing it with. Right now, there's a temporary show there called Epcot Forever, which celebrates the history of Epcot, and so they have a lot of
Kites.
old songs. They have like Figment in it, different parts of
Are they
Epcot.
get rid of that?
Yeah, because it's just there as a filler until
No,
they
I mean, they
make.
get rid of Figment.
No,
No,
what?
what
Okay.
are you
No.
talking about?
It's just as a filler because they're
She said
making.
Figment.
Because they always talk about the music. In the new show, they have the song, the Journey into Imagination song. So it's being replaced with this Harmonious, which is supposed to be a celebration of Disney music and how it's all harmonious and Disney characters, different Disney music. I've seen the concept art. It's got like Hercules. It's got Moana.
Yeah.
It's got
Sounds
Mulan.
like Phantasmic.
No, not Phantasmic though. So I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm sure it's going to be lovely. I'm sure it's going to be really cool to see. They're going to pull out all the stops, all new technologies and stuff. I don't know, like when we were talking about Frozen, it's not what Epcot is.
Mm-hmm.
But like Ange said, they're changing that. They're rewriting what Epcot is, and we just have no choice but to get on board with it. So
Yeah.
They're rebranding it.
They're rebranding it.
they're bringing it into 2020. They're all of Future World is being pretty much like gutted and redone. It's gonna be an entirely different park than what you may have experienced in the last couple years.
Yes.
It's the whole thing's pretty much getting done. Anyway,
Okay. This episode has taken a turn, so hopefully this was interesting for our listeners. And there are many past attractions that we did not cover, so we'd love to hear your feedback and what you would put on your top 5 list of attractions that are no more at Walt Disney World.
please leave us a comment on social media with your thoughts,
And thank you guys for listening.
and we'll see you real soon.
And it was a pleasure to be out here speaking to all your podcast fans out there.
Thank you, Dad.
And I'll
Me
come back
too.
anytime. Get out. I'll
Me
come back
too.
anytime. You can ask me to be a
We'll
guest.
see. We'll see.
After this time, I don't know. We'll see.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.